If you notice that you're unmuted, would you please mute yourself? Thank you so much.
Good morning and welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Society of Albany. My name is Sam Trumbore and I'll be leading our service this morning with Patty Jo Newell and Sharon Babila. Our musicians will be Elena Karpoff, Randy Rosette, and Chris Jensen. Before we begin, please check to make sure your microphone is muted. Please also be mindful of your speech while on Zoom, as microphones have a way of getting unmuted. This will minimize any disruption of our service. Thanks so much for your cooperation. This is now the time of transition from ordinary time to sacred time. Please stop doom scrolling through your newsfeed. Close Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. wait to answer that email or text. Close the door between the daily clamor and your inner sanctuary. This is your time to be included with and welcomed by the Albany UU community. Bring your attention to this one source of inspiring images, words, and music to lift your heart, broaden your mind, and move you to do justice in the world in the service of building beloved community. While we cannot be physically present together this morning, we can make sacred space together through our intention to honor this time and our virtual presence together. May this be holy and sacred time for each of us as we join together in the celebration of life. If we could advance to our prelude. And let us light our chalice together with the words that you'll see on the screen in front of you. Welcoming all free seekers of truth and meaning, we gather to excite the human spirit, to inspire its growth and development, to respond morally and ethically to a troubled world, and to sustain a vital and nurturing religious community. And now a wisdom story from Leah.
Our story today comes from a book written by an Olympic medalist named Ibtihad Muhammad and written by, with help by S.K. Ali, with art by Hatem Ali. The Proudest Blue, a story of hijab and family. Here we have our story basket with a great big cloth to start us out. Here's a place big enough for a school and houses and stores.
Reach out to that person in the chat window now or after the service. You can also at any time connect to the visitor link and get more information about our congregation from our website, albanyuu.org. Thanks. And now we welcome the chance to greet each other. In our Zoom format, this is done through virtual breakout rooms. You can say hello and share your name. This will last about 90 seconds and then we'll come back together.
Looks like we're doing pretty well.
Awesome. Sam, that was weird. It stopped recording. I don't know if it's full. It's recording again now, but like it just stopped. Do you think it stopped because I stopped the Facebook stream?
I think what we can do is we can look at the recording and see what got dropped out. It might be. And you've also got that 20-second delay too, so there might have been something like that happening too.
Oh, okay.
This is, we're all in the learning process here.
Sure are.
Learning curve is huge.
It's in the learning curve, aren't we?
Sometimes there's a dip and sometimes there's the high.
That's true.
Well, I feel good about keeping on time too. We're doing pretty well.
We are.
I got a whole lot of announcements though.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Amy was watching the Facebook Live and she said it looked good.
Yeah, I was watching the Facebook
Excellent.
Live. Yeah, I was watching it on my other screen while I was watching the Zoom on this screen, and it looked really good.
So it was pretty solid.
Yep, pretty solid.
How many people did you see? Would you see look at the count?
I saw 4 at one point, but we didn't boost it this time. We were thinking about boosting it for next week. So yeah.
Well, it's nice that somebody found us. Great.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's going to sit out there too, so people can.
That's right. That's exactly right. The only thing that I would have done differently is introduce the Facebook.
I didn't introduce the feed.
Yeah.
Well, we did have a slide. Did the slide show up?
Yeah, but for like 2 seconds.
For just
Okay.
a second, but it just went quick, and then it was a little confusing, but that's fine.
Yeah, the thing is, most people are going to join while it's already moving. People aren't going to be sitting there waiting for it to start.
Which is true, but still, because it's sitting out there.
Yeah. Oh, that's true for the record. Well, as long as that slide got on there.
Yeah.
All right. Great.
Should I tell them a minute?
Yep. Bring it back. Bring them back now.
Close them. They got the 60 seconds.
Oh yeah, they're getting lots of time.
Joys and sorrows.
Great. People are popping back in.
That's my last reading of it.
Okay.
This is the time set aside in our service for sharing significant personal milestones in our lives. If you would like to share your joy or sorrow with us, there are still several ways to do that. Please remember, they can be shared at any time on our website. We'll read first those that have been submitted over the past week. Sam, did you want to do that now? There aren't any.
No, I don't think we have any.
Okay, thank you. You can at this time type your joy or sorrow in the chat window. Please put the words "read aloud" at the beginning of your message if you would like us to do that. I will read the items submitted in the chat. The final option is to click on the blue raise hand symbol in the participants window. Our technician, Sapphire, will unmute you and invite you to share your joy or sorrow now.
Good morning. This is Sandy here, and
I have had a bit of a roller coaster ride for the past 3 or 4 weeks with some health issues. Fortunately, I celebrated my birthday this past Wednesday by getting wonderful news, and I'm in pretty darn good health and don't have the worry that I thought I was going to have to deal with. So that was the best birthday celebration. I celebrated it with my daughter, who drove like a trooper through New York City to get me to the doctors where I needed to go. Never did that before. You'd think she was born there. So this afternoon, we're celebrating my birthday with our kids and grandkids here with pizza and wings, and celebrating our son's upcoming birthday this coming Wednesday, when he will turn older than I care to think about.
More than 50.
More than 50. So that's a little scary. Yeah, but I'm healthy. We're happy. It's been a heck of a week. And thank you for those of you who have been able to give me some support. Much appreciated. Along with this guy.
Thank you, Sandy. Next up is Anne Marie Haber.
Hi, everyone. Many of you know that for the last 11 weeks, Mitch and I and our kids have gone to downtown Troy to stand against racism. And over the course of the 11 weeks, 25 members of Albany UU have come on different weeks. And we were inspired by and joined by Archie. And it's largely been a very positive experience. But I have a sorrow today. After our group dispersed, one of the men who had been giving us, well, let me first say, through the course of the time, some people have given us a thumbs down or yelled "All Lives Matter" or made lewd gestures or shouted expletives, but many, many, many people have given us encouragement. Yesterday, a man came by whom we have seen before, who has "All Lives Matter" spray painted on his pickup truck, and he was yelling at us. And after the group dispersed, Mitch took the kids to the farmer's market, and I, proceeded alone. I had the 4 large Black Lives Matter signs, and the man followed me. And I noticed that he had pulled over down the street from where I was walking on a one-way street, and I can only assume that he wanted to confront me. So I crossed the street and turned the other direction. I went down another street and called Mitch, and within minutes he had gone down the street to again follow me. So I waited until he passed, and then I went into a shop where I was in a safe space. And I'm okay, and everything is all right. But I'm profoundly sad that our Black neighbors, our Black fellow and sister congregants, our Black family members faced this kind of hatred and intimidation every day. And maybe what's worse is they don't know when they see people, which people are going to be those people. And so this will not stop me in my anti-racism work, but I want to go forth in a safe way. And I'll be reaching out to the other people in our group to talk about what we can do to remain safe. But I feel so profoundly burdened by it. And I realized this morning that there's no reason for me to carry this burden alone. And so I share with you my sorrow.
Thank you for that, Anne Marie. Sigrid and John Newell are next.
Okay. Good morning. I have a joy and something for you all to look forward to. In the middle of this week, on what would have been Peggy Slocum's 100th birthday, a small group of family and very close friends met in the backyard of her former house to remember her. Sam filmed it, and we will, in about a month, there will be a Zoom memorial service for Peggy Slocum for you all to participate in. and we look forward to sharing that with you.
Great. Thank you, guys. Next up is Jay Holly.
Good morning. Whoops, can you hear me? Yep. Okay, good morning. So my joy this morning is that I am one of the people who have been selected to serve on the task force here in Bethlehem that's going to be looking at police reform pursuant to Governor Cuomo's executive order. And so the committee will begin meeting, I believe, at the end of this month. And really looking at policing here in Bethlehem and how we make policing reflect the justice and the will of the community. So my ask is for those of you in the congregation who live in Bethlehem, if you have experience with the police that you would like brought to light on this committee, please feel free to reach out to me. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Next up is Julie Lama.
First time since before the pandemic, Rob and I went down to Woodstock to visit with our daughter and her husband of just over a year now, and our granddaughters. And we also brought our dog Sirius down to play with their dog, and they had a ball too. So it was really great to have a family gathering again. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Jill Peckinpog.
I'm just feeling my heart very full and open today, and I'm appreciating the joy and gratitude. I just want to express that I feel with this congregation that's supported me individually and collectively for 10 plus years that I've been in Albany, and just excited that we're doing this work together. The vision really is amazing, and all of the efforts everybody's doing, I really appreciate. And Jay, I'm on the Police Reform Collaborative in Albany, and I'll put the same plea out if people have had experiences with the police that they want to share with me. I'd happily receive that. And Jay, maybe it's another excuse for us to compare notes.
Thank you, Jill. That's all I have, Sharon.
Okay. I have a note from Ken McDonald that he is now the proud grandfather of a healthy baby boy, Samuel McDonald, who was born Thursday at St. Peter's. And a note from Barb and Dave Metz. From Barb: I'm concerned about my older sister's failing health. In addition, I'm concerned about my growing up friend, Mickey, who had major surgery this week. The surgery had to wait until COVID-19 settled down in the hospitals of New York City. Please pray for both of them. And from Carol Butt, we gave out about 3 dozen grab-and-go bags, very full of food, thanks to so many offerings of items for the bags out to our neighbors around the church. A huge thank you to all. And from Lois Bailey, tremendous unspeakable sorrow at the loss of RBG.
There's another one from Valerie.
Yep, from Valerie. Tremendous sorrow for the loss of RBG, but joy for her inspiration and ability to improve our lives over the course of her amazing lifetime. May she rest in peace. And from Darnell, I appreciate the service for RBG yesterday. I wish I had asked people in other states to contact their senators about not voting for a new justice until after January 2021, sorry. I think, previously, okay, from Michael Crowell, last Saturday, 9/12/20, My family and I attended a wonderful memorial service for my father, Julian Crowell, who died just over a year ago, 9/11/19, at the age of 85. It was a terrific celebration of his life and included 6 of his fellow teachers at Bosphorus U in Istanbul, Turkey, many of whom we hadn't seen in 30 years. And I think that's all.
Thank you very much, Sharon. And let us turn inward now. For a prayer of affirmation. For all the joys and sorrows that have been left unspoken, let us hold all that we've heard and felt in our hearts. Let us pause for a moment. Empty our minds of the detritus around us. Focus on the more expansive frame of this moment and open our hearts to the fullness of life and the losses of death. A beacon of justice has been extinguished. Today we mourn the death of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, a giant of jurisprudence, the likes of which rarely walk the earth, let alone attain such high office. Let us now hear again a few of her wise words that may continue to ring in our ears. Feminism is the notion that we should each be free to develop our own talents and not be held back by man-made barriers. I don't say women's rights. I say the constitutional principle of the equal citizenship, stature of men and women. I ask no favor from my sex. All I ask of our brethren is that they take their feet off our necks. Fight for the things you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. People sometimes ask me, when will there be enough women on the court? And my answer is, when there are 9. I would like to be remembered as someone who used whatever talent she had to do her work to the very best of her ability. Let us be grateful for her noble service to the cause of justice. Her brilliant decisions and dissents will not die, but continue to be part of the guiding jurisprudence of our law and our legal system. Her dissents may yet become the basis for future decisions. Her decisions will protect good laws from challenge in the future. She lived a life of deep dedication to what she valued that was more important than her own individual life. She lived in service to us through her commitment to the law that helps us all live together in peace. May we honor her life today. May we appreciate the body of work she leaves behind. May we cherish the values that guided her. May we hold her dearly in our hearts as an exemplar of a good, just, and honest human being. so be it. And amen. And let us have a concluding song, Guide My Feet. Traditional song from the W.L. James collection in harmony by W. Whalum. And our song leaders are Randy and Chris.
Sam, you're muted.
Let's extinguish this chalice with the words that you'll see on the screen. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And I have a benediction for you. I close with a few more words by Ruth Bader Ginsburg. If you'd like to emulate her, here is her advice. Work for what you believe in, but pick your battles and don't burn your bridges. Don't be afraid to take charge. Think about what you want, then work to do it. But then enjoy what makes you happy. Bring along your crew. Have a sense of humor. Go in peace. Make peace. Be at peace. This ends our service. We do have some acknowledgements to share with you. Thanks to our ushers, Kristen Abbas, Dawn Dana, Fred Eames, and Amy Jameson. Our pastoral care associates today, Donna Meixner and Sharon Babla. Our welcomer, Don Odell. Musicians, Elena, Randy, and Chris. Our office support, Sapphire Correa, and who is also our technical support today. And we have announcements. Let's go first to Karen Kaufman. Karen's got one.